Okay, we're going to use the switch A on the upper left hand corner of the 7C radio to activate a fail-safe throttle stick switch so that you could deactivate it, in particular for electric motors. In order to get to your mix screen, after you choose the channel, which for this purpose I'm choosing channel A as an example, on the 7C, the mode page button over here, push it once or twice. Sometimes it'll come directly onto the mix page, sometimes it won't, so you just scroll back and forth. It's on the A1 page, so pmix 1 is which one I'm going to pick. If you wanted to put a different mix in, if you already have a mix in for a model, you can choose a different one by just scrolling. Mix 1, push the silver button in. First thing you'll notice on top, it says INH. That means that the mix is inhibited and not active. So what I would do is leave that alone and then go to the next page and just do the back page first and then come back to the front. It just makes it easier. So get into the inhibit screen. If you're not there, you can go up and down with the cursors here. So I'm on the inhibit section, you see it blinking. Scroll the wheel until it says off or on. Okay. If you don't happen to be on the right switch, that's fine. Whatever switch it happens to be on, I'll say off and on instead of inhibit at this time. Then you pick your master channel, which for Fataba the throttle is 3. So you scroll until it's a 3. If you go back and forth, you miss it, you can just do that. Push the arrow button down, go to the slave channel, you'll see that blinking. Scroll around until it's channel 3 also. And this down here is your switch channel to choose from. And for instance, if it was on no switch at all, or G, or see the switches going here, and some are 2 position switches, some are 3. So A is a 2 position switch, and I have it in the down position now, and it says the mix is on, and that's how I want it to have it. I don't want the mix to be off until I flip the switch up. That gives me normal throttles. For my logic, little there is, that's how I want the switch. If you wanted it different, then you would move the switch to it says cursor blinking the other direction. Then you can do off, down, and on, up. So not to be confused, I'm using this switch in that position so that when I have it switched down, the mix is on, and then the throttle doesn't work. If I switch it up, the mix is off and the throttle acts as normal. Alright, so that page is done. We've selected the channel and the switch and activated the mix. Go back to the previous page, and if you go past it, you have to get back into it. I apologize, I had to relearn the radio again, my old radio. But there's the front page of the mix. It says channel 3 to 3 on the upper right hand corner, so that's set. Now there's 3 things you have to set so this works. You'll notice that if you move the throttle stick a little bit, your top 0% is blinking. If you push it all the way down, the bottom 1 is blinking. So activate the percent of the first 0 and put it down to -100. It's all the way. It's as far as it goes. Make the lower 0% blink and do the same thing. Spin the wheel to the left, gets negative, spinning it to the right, it's positive, as you see. So spin it all the way to the left, and you're at 100% negative on that. Now the next thing you have to do, so it does work like we want, is select the offset setting. make sure you push the stick all the way down on the throttle, and then you'll see the cursor blinking on the set. Hold the button in until it says set. Okay? That being done, we are done. If I have the switch in a down position, the throttle doesn't work. If I switch it up, the throttle is activated. So I'm switching this switch down, throttle will not work, and I switch it up, the throttle will work. I did try it on a plane of mine. I acquired the electric plane, the Spitfire, to this radio, resunk it to this radio, and did this whole thing with that, and it does function as I would like it. So if I have the switch down, the throttle stick is inactive and the motor won't run, but the plane will acquire when you plug your battery into electric plane, and you get the surfaces will work. But until you want that motor to run, which is be when you put it on the ground to taxi out or out in the middle of the runway with these electrics, then you can make sure your throttle is down in the lower position and flip it up. Because unfortunately, even on the 8FG and the 14SG that I have, with any position on the stick that it is, once you hit that switch, that's what it's going to go to in a heartbeat. So you still have to make sure that before you activate your throttle back onto the radio, that you want to be in the lower position. This just allows you to have another safety cushion, so that, for instance, that you turn everything on and you do this, and all of a sudden you bump the throttle by accident. You know, when you're picking up the plane or you're doing something on the bench. This all came about because I got hurt on New Year's when I was doing something with my new heater bag I was trying out, and I did something out of sequence of what I usually do, and basically I bumped the throttle when my hand and radio were in front of the plane, and that's all she wrote. So use this if you want to. I will be trying this out on a gas and a glow plane, which would do the same thing, and when you activate it, your motor would just go back down to idle, and then you wouldn't be able to bump your stick and get it in the full throttle or whatever by accident. You still have to do it, you still have to use the switch and then turn it off and on, but it's just another thing to do for safety's sake. Any questions, you reach out to me, but stop and pause, rewind if you have to this video. I'll be making additional videos for the other two radios in the future. Thanks.